All right, today we're back and we are going to be unboxing the Bauer 5-speed. It's a 8-inch benchtop drill press, 2.3 amps, third horsepower, 750 to 3002 RPM. So I ended up getting this. I've been wanting a drill press for a while, but just didn't feel like buying one really. I ended up getting 2 gift cards for Harbor Freight, and in the end this cost me 20 bucks. So I figured, why in the hell not? I eventually want to get a milling vise for it. It's definitely not a machine to do heavy milling on, but like you can do plastics and like nylon and stuff, like real light milling you should be able to do with this. So there's a slight echo in here. We're in the attached garage today instead of the shop or the house. This is probably the brightest room that I have. So we'll go ahead and get it unboxed, and we're gonna assemble it and drill a couple pieces of wood with it. All right, so we got the tape cut, so we're just gonna go ahead and open it. All right, so just like everything else, we have our instructions. In here it'll tell you how to assemble it and how to change the speeds on it, but it's pretty much straightforward. So we have our hardware here. We'll just go ahead and get it open. We got our 3 handles. We got various bolts, and they were kind enough to include an Allen head. Now when putting this together, we're gonna be Loctiting everything, pretty much. Almost everything I get from Harbor Freight, before I even assemble it, I put Loctite on it, and you'd be surprised at how much better everything is with that. And we got this little box. Okay, we got our chuck key. And we also have the chuck. Here we got our base. It feels pretty hefty. It doesn't feel too bad. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna stop real quick. I'm gonna go in the house and grab a magnet just to make sure. I'm pretty positive this is cast iron. There's people that said that this part is cast aluminum. I don't know if I believe that or not. So just for the hell of it, let's get a magnet and try it out. All right, so we got our trusty magnet here. All right, so it's not aluminum, which is good. One box the table here. Good enough for me. It's also got the, I don't know if you can see that, the increments. It's supposed to go up to about 45 degrees. Bevel on both sides. So I may, when I get this together, I might put a level on it just to see if it is 100% accurate. So to adjust this, you have your bolt at the very bottom right here. Loosen it and tighten it as needed. All right, we have the actual post that goes up through the middle. So Okay, as far as I can tell, this is probably aluminum. This thing doesn't weigh anything. You can see how it's a pretty skinny shaft there. I can't say skinny, thin-walled. So, I mean, it's greased up pretty good though. But this feels like it's aluminum, so I'd be careful with this. All right, so we have the head itself in here. Then we'll bring this down. All right, so here's your pulleys, front and back. If you see the side right here, this will be your adjustment to take up slack. It feels pretty good right now. It's nice and clean in there. I'm hoping to keep it that way. So what I'll do is when I put this together, I probably won't do this on camera, but you want to check all your screws. You want to check everything. And then we have the spindle speed belt settings. So at the very bottom is 750. Next one up is 1,000, 1,500, 2,100, and 32. I am probably going to start out with it, and I'll show you how to adjust this belt. I'm going to probably start out here. If you look right there, it has for wood, aluminum, zinc, and brass, iron, and steel. So at least it gives you a heads up on what's recommended. So we're going to go ahead and start putting this together, because I want to show you more on this, but just with it being on a box and it not hooked to anything, it's going to be a little difficult. So, oh, you got your little rubber bumpers to help keep the noise down. All right, we're going to go ahead and start assembly, starting at the base here. All right, so for this, you're going to want a 1/2 inch wrench, and then your 3 bolts. And like I said, I Loctite everything I can from Harbor Freight. It's just a good idea. And then I want to line that flange up as close as I can with the one on the base plate. You can probably use red Loctite on this. I don't use red Loctite on many things because I want to be able to take it back apart sometime in my life if I have to, because you never know. You don't want to go nuts torquing these down. And that should be it. So your next thing you're putting on is going to be your plate. Just slide it over and then just screw this in. Don't use Loctite on this. I know that's common sense for some people. and we're gonna just leave it at that. So I'm gonna install this close to the bottom, just so I have enough room to work with putting the head back on it. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and get the head put on it. So if you look at this side towards the bottom, right there, that's gonna be your set screw to put it on, and I think the top one is also a set screw as well. And it is. So that's pretty much all there is to it. So I ended up, when I was moving this upside down, I heard this falling around in it. When they stripped the wires, they must have forgot this part. I sure as hell hope it doesn't interfere with anything. So I'm probably not going to be doing the Loctite on the set screws yet anyway. So we're just gonna want to line this up as straight as we can. Looks pretty straight to me. So we're gonna go ahead and tighten them up. And like I said, right here is your tension for the back. I wouldn't go nuts on these either, just because of how thin this tubing is. It's nice that there's two of them just for some reassurance. And that seems good to me. So next we're going to be putting the handles on. I will be Loctiting these, because I don't really see much of a reason to take these back off. I did notice that these have a little flat on them, so you can put a wrench on them and tighten them. There we go. And this one was loose at the bottom, so just keep an eye out for that. So we'll go ahead and snug these up, and then I'll show you the rest of the features on it. Alright, so I noticed there's a clip on the side of here. That's going to be for your chuck key. Chuck key also has spring-loaded end to it. It's basically for safety, so you don't leave it in the chuck and try to start it. This will pop the chuck key out. And that's all. Just hangs out on the side. I ended up tightening this up because everything else felt tight. So while we're here, we are going to go ahead and get this belt onto the next setting. Now, what I'm going to do is put my finger on the belt, and you just pull it out and up slightly while rotating the motor. Make sure you do this with the unit unplugged. So, okay, and then we will go to the back and get it put on the next one. Yeah, maybe I'll adjust it a hair. I think it'll be a good idea. Okay, so now we're gonna put the chuck on. And how we're gonna do that is, feels like it's slightly tapered opening there. And then at the very bottom of this, let's see if you can see it better, right here. So we're gonna move the table up. And that should be good. We're gonna put the chuck on. Make sure your jaws are the whole way up in the chuck. Put a piece of wood under it, and just, you don't want to push to the point that you break anything. You just want to snug down on it, and that should be good. So we're gonna get it plugged in. We're gonna hear what it sounds like with it running, and we'll go over the features on this side. Okay, so we got everything plugged in. So I did notice that when I bring it down, it feels like it wants to catch just ever so slightly, and this is extremely dry. So what I'll do is I'll put some Kroil or maybe even white lithium grease possibly, and then put that together. Now you got 2 inches of travel. It's got your handy marking thing here, but you got 2 inches of travel. You also have 2 nuts up here. I can show you with the light. Maybe. Anyway, you got 2 bolts here, or nuts, that you can limit your travel, so you can adjust how far you want to go down in. So, got a handy work light, and it's actually bright. I don't know if the camera is going to do it any justice, but there's a little button right down here, little toggle switch. On this front part, this yellow key pulls out in case you got kids around or if you just don't want anybody using it. So now what we're gonna is we're gonna turn it on and listen to how quiet it is. And that's it. It's extremely quiet. There's no sound. It vibrates a little bit. Watch where you stick your fingers. But yeah, it's super quiet. I'm actually really happy about that. So we're gonna go ahead and put a drill bit in here. Drill a couple holes in this piece of wood, and so we're gonna go ahead and chuck this drill up. I don't know. Right away, I'm not a big fan of the spring-loaded thing because I can picture either this or the teeth on the chuck getting stripped out fairly quick. Who knows, I might just grind that off. As long as you're not an idiot, right? We'll bring up the table. And you always want to make sure you're not going to drill through your table. Hopefully this don't catch my hand. So. It does seem to cut pretty nice, though. And then one more. Seems cut pretty nice. So that's pretty much it. Always keep the top down. I had the top on when I opened when I did that. But I mean, all in all, for I think altogether it was $79, $80, something like that. But for me paying 20, I really can't complain about it. But yeah, you're gonna wanna. This is real dry, so we're gonna get that all lubed up and everything. But other than that, I can't really complain about it. It's I'm sure it'll definitely work for what I need it. Now I have a milling vise coming, and we'll be doing an unboxing and whatnot on that. I'm hoping that it's not so high that I can't use this, but hey, we'll find out, right? So, if you like the video, give it a like. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy it, subscribe. And I would like to thank you all for watching.